This is Disney Entertainment News Today. I'm Rob Whiteside, and here now are the top Disney Entertainment stories for Tuesday, March 14th, 2023. Marvel Studios will continue digging into the dark side of its universe with more horror projects like Werewolf by Night and Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. Marvel Studios Vice President of Production and Development Stephen Brassard spoke about exploring more horror on the D23 Inside Disney podcast this month, saying that he would love digging into the darker side of the MCU. D23 asked Brassard whether Werewolf by Night, a special presentation that premiered last Halloween, could have ties to Phase 5 of the MCU. The answer is anything is possible in the MCU, he said. The example I always like to cite is Paul Bettany was the voice of Jarvis in Iron Man, just a disembodied robot voice, and did an amazing job. All these years later, he's at the Emmys nominated for playing Vision in this sitcom deconstruction. If you had asked me back then if we would end up there today, I would never have told you that it was even in the realm of possibility. Continuing to talk about Werewolf by Night, Brassard said, "So the special itself was made as this one-off holiday special, stylistic exercise with good friend Michael Giacchino. But those characters, come on, they're too cool to leave behind. If I have anything to do with it, Marvel will continue digging into the horror-verse, digging into the darker side. There's so many great characters from the comics from that world. Elsa, as you mentioned, was fantastic, as played by Laura. I love Gale. I've always been a big fan of his. People really responded to his relationship with Ted, aka Man-Thing. So great characters there and just a great world, a great milieu." Werewolf by Night producer Brian Gay made similar comments in an interview with The Direct last year, saying, quote, "I think one of the very cool things about this special is it's just peeling back the corner of the monsters in the MCU, right? So there's not just the monsters that are part of Werewolf by Night, but the ones that were up on the wall. There's some of that artwork as well. What all this lends to is the idea that for centuries there have been monsters within the world of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and they've been tracked or hunted or kept at bay by these hunters." Gay continued, quote, "And I think, well, we don't know exactly where they'll pop up next. The idea is that with this wide swath of different species and types, they're going to pop up again. You're going to see these guys in different ways, of course." Brassard wrapped up his conversation with D23 about horror by saying, "I'm a big fan. If you look at the work that I've done individually here of like place as character, whether it's the TVA or the world of magic, and certainly the darker corners of the Marvel Universe feel just as rich and worth exploring." According to The Hollywood Reporter, John Bernthal is returning as the Punisher in Daredevil Born Again, a new Daredevil series coming soon. Bernthal debuted as Frank Castle, aka The Punisher, in 2016 during Season 2 of Netflix's Daredevil. He starred in his own series The Punisher from 2017 to 2019. Charlie Cox and Vincent D'Onofrio are also returning for Daredevil Born Again after cameos in other recent MCU projects. An updated logo for the series was unveiled at D23 Expo 2022. Daredevil Born Again is scheduled to premiere in spring 2024, and filming will begin this month. During the Morgan Stanley Technology, Media, and Telecom Conference, Disney CEO Bob Iger talked about the future of many brands which he called his babies, including Marvel. Regarding the trajectory of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, Iger pointed out that there is, quote, 7,000 characters. There are a lot more stories to tell. What we have to look at in Marvel, he continued, is not necessarily the volume of Marvel storytelling, but how many times we can go back to the well on certain characters. Sequels typically work well for us. Do you need a third and a fourth, for instance? Or is it a time to turn to other characters? As Iger says, there isn't anything necessarily bad about the Marvel brand right now. Avengers Endgame is still the second highest grossing film of all time. But to keep the brand alive, they're turning to, quote, newness. The MCU is, of course, going to turn back to the Avengers in Phase 6, with Avengers: The KANG Dynasty hitting theaters in 2025. But this time, there will be a whole new set of Avengers. While the original lineup consisted of Iron Man, Captain America, Hulk, Thor, Black Widow, and Hawkeye, the new lineup will likely be led by the new Captain America, Sam Wilson, and also includes such characters as Ant-Man, the Wasp, Captain Marvel, War Machine, and Shuri's Black Panther. Beyond the 6 phases currently announced, there's room for even more growth with characters not yet introduced. And though no current plans for specific Young Avengers project, there are plenty of young characters lined up for the potential superhero team. During his live question and answer session at the Morgan Stanley Technology, Media, and Telecom Conference, Iger also said that the company may, thanks to their deal with Comcast, soon own 100% of Hulu. Right now, Disney owns 2/3 of Hulu and Comcast owns the other third. Their deal means that next year, Disney can possibly take over Comcast's third, and it seems Iger is planning on taking 100% control of the streaming service. Comcast CEO Brian Roberts expressed previously an interest in purchasing Hulu if Disney put their shares up for sale. Hulu is about to celebrate 15 years of operation this year. The Walt Disney Company took majority ownership of Hulu with their purchase of 21st Century Fox back in 2019. Speaking of Hulu, a special limited-time Coca-Cola Freestyle flavor will be available at Disneyland Resort and Walt Disney World Resort soon to celebrate the 15th anniversary of Hulu. Hulu turned 15 on March 12, 2023. The streaming service has teamed up with Coca-Cola to debut Hulu Fanta Surprise, a green drink that combines sweet lime and ginger. Hulu Fanta Surprise will be available from Coca-Cola Freestyle machines from March 12th through April 30th at Disneyland Resort and Walt Disney World Resort. Coincidentally, the green drink's availability coincides with St. Patrick's Day on March 17th. Quote, "We are incredibly grateful to the millions of subscribers, fans, creators, talent, content partners, advertisers, and Huluigans who have made it all possible." Is that really a thing that people say? And never stopped having fun along the way. Hulu President Joe Early said this in a press release about the anniversary. Walt Disney Studios has been teasing the live-action version of The Little Mermaid for several months now, and last Sunday, viewers got a look at the official trailer during the broadcast of the 95th Oscars hosted by Jimmy Kimmel on ABC from the Dolby Theater at Ovation Hollywood. The awards show is also being streamed on the ABC app, Hulu Live TV, YouTube TV, AT&T TV, and Fubo TV. The trailer can be seen on our website, WDWNT.com. Halle Bailey plays Princess Ariel in the movie The Little Mermaid. Other cast members include Jonah Hauer-King as Prince Eric, Melissa McCarthy as Ursula, and Javier Bardem as King Triton. Additionally, Daveed Diggs will play the voice of Sebastian, Jacob Tremblay will be the voice of Flounder, and Awkwafina will be the voice of Scuttle, who has been reimagined as a female diving bird instead of a male seagull. Bailey and McCarthy introduced the clip on stage. Disney has also shared a new poster for the film. The film is set to be exclusively in theaters on May 26, 2023, and in January, we reported that Walt Disney World was looking for performers who look like the live-action Ariel, as portrayed by Halle Bailey. With Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny scheduled for release on June 30th as the fifth and final Indiana Jones movie, the MPAA has weighed in on the film with an official PG-13 rating. According to their classification, the rating is due to, quote, sequences of violence and action, language, and smoking. While the rating itself doesn't add much to what you can be expected to see in the fifth and final film, it is an interesting reminder that the second film of the franchise, Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom, was a main catalyst alongside Gremlins that led to the MPAA to create the PG-13 classification in the first place. Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny will take place in 1969 amidst the space race, where he will encounter his old enemy, the Nazis, once again. Harrison Ford reprises his role as Indiana Jones. Mads Mikkelsen will play Voller, a villain inspired by Werner von Braun, a real Nazi who became a NASA engineer. Phoebe Waller-Bridge will appear as Helena Shaw, Indy's goddaughter. John Rhys-Davies will return as Sala, Indy's friend who was last seen in Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, and the official trailer and artwork for the film debuted in December. A second trailer for Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny premiered during the Super Bowl. You can watch the second trailer on our website. Harrison Ford has stated this will be his last Indiana Jones movie. Will you be tuning in to the fifth and final Indiana Jones film? Let us know if you're excited in the comments below. A new Star Wars movie could be coming to theaters in the near future. Fans of the franchise have been awaiting the next film in the Star Wars saga. The last major motion picture, The Rise of Skywalker, was released back in December of 2019, and many are hoping for a new journey in a galaxy far, far away. Star Wars Celebration will begin on April 7th, and fans of the franchise are hopeful that the next chapter will arrive sooner rather than later. New reports are hinting that this year's event may provide fans with the next installment and plans. After it was revealed that a project that Kevin Feige was creating was shelved, there are only 2 previously announced films left that could become a reality. One from Taika Waititi and the other from David Lindelof. Recently, the critic and reporter Jeff Snyder on the podcast The Hot Mic claimed that the next installment of the film will be the Lindelof movie. Like 100%, he said. During the conversation, he continued to state that the next film in the franchise is, quote, coming out December 2025. Disney has previously shared that the next film in the project would be released on December 19th, 2025. Damon Lindelof, who has a number of big credits under his belt, such as the producer of the Disney movie Tomorrowland, Star Trek Into Darkness, and Lost, currently IMDb has him listed as the writer for an untitled Star Wars film, which is shown scheduled for 2027. But this could be moved up to line up with what Snyder has said in the interview. With the Lindelof project possibly moving forward, that would bring along his director of choice, Sharmeen Obaid-Chinoy. Obaid-Chinoy was working with Disney before, including 2 episodes of Ms. Marvel. Snyder, during his interview on the podcast, had stated that along with the writer and director, the actors, as well as the script, were, quote, by all accounts done. In addition to this information that Damon Lindelof's film is moving forward, Taika Waititi's film also is still in the project pipeline. Taika Waititi, the filmmaker behind Thor: Love and Thunder, is continuing his project. Waititi continues to work on his possible Star Wars feature, and Variety sources say that the filmmaker is likely to appear in it as well, which is not unusual for the director. The project was originally projected to wrap this year, but Waititi shared last summer that the film was on hold as he worked on his HBO Max series, Our Flag Means Death. Back in June, Waititi said, quote, I'm still trying to figure out what the story is. Are you excited about the prospect to head back to the stars for a new Star Wars movie soon? Let us know in the comments below. Though it may be a while before we actually see another Star Wars film on the big screen, Disney Plus remains the streaming home of the galaxy far, far away. Season 3 of The Mandalorian is underway, while the Rogue One, a Star Wars story prequel, Andor, has already begun filming its 2nd season. Ahsoka, Star Wars Skeleton Crew, and The Acolyte are also in various stages of production. For the absolute latest in Disney entertainment news, head on over to WDWNT.com and follow us on all of your favorite social media platforms. If you're enjoying this show, and as always, we hope you are, please be sure to subscribe to WDWNT TV on YouTube for more great content and click the bell for notifications. Also hit select all notifications so you never miss an episode of the show. And if you enjoy Disney movies and TV shows, don't forget to join us for our weekly review show, Deep in the Plus. We do that show live every Wednesday night at 9 p.m. Eastern, and you can find previous episodes available right here on demand on WDWNT TV. For the worldwide leader in Disney parks news and entertainment, this is Rob Whiteside saying don't have a good day, have a great day, and we'll see you next time.